Careface CVP. Careface CVP. Subscribe, like, comment, and let the whole world know about Careface CVP.
Careface Video Productions.
Give thanks. Do it here, reporting live from Little Jamaica, Studio M. It's an honor to be here to connect with these organizations that understand the need, understand what's going on in the world, understand what's going on particularly with our people, and they've opened the doors, and people have opened their hearts, and as you can see, the generosity is real. But you know, we have some serious situations that we have to think about, the conditions of our islands, right? Those that have been battered by the hurricane. You know, our people are going to be vulnerable, right? And those who are in business ownership and those with land ownership, you know what, they're going to be vulnerable to making decisions that they wouldn't normally make under normal circumstances. And we have to be concerned about the loss of ownership of our island, the loss of ownership of property. People coming in making, oh, bless, yeah, you get a button, brother. Please write your name down, man.
Certainly.
Thank you so much. And we have to be concerned about what's going to happen once people start showing up, outside investors who start showing up, waving wads of cash to vulnerable people, where we're going to lose our greatest asset, and that's access to the beaches, that's access to, you know, the natural environment that, you know what, that the whole world comes to seize. So thank you very much, appreciate it. So, you know what, there's not only do we have to identify which organizations and businesses and families are going to be vulnerable, what kind of support we can provide them, but also we need to be thinking about ultimately how do we get our loved ones who are now displaced and homeless access to Canada now, right? You see what happened when Ukraine happens, when war breaks out and terrible things happen around the world. Well, you know, countries like Canada and the US, they open up their immigration, they open up the access to, and then not only do when they get here, they get stuff. They get stuff. So it's important that our people are front of that line right now, and it's a time sensitivity thing right now. So we have to set things up with our governments so that access is available, so that people in Canada who have family on those islands, they can start making themselves available, so say, hey, we can provide a place for them, we'll vouch for them, we'll bring them in. Because, listen, I don't know if people are familiar with what the projected immigration is for Canada, but listen, we're little. Our people are little. Africa, the Caribbean islands, it's a very small amount of us that they're projecting that will be coming here compared to, you know, the other countries around the world. So this is a moment that we have to take very serious, and we have to be dealing with our governments, and we have to be dealing with the business communities here to find out how we can provide real resources so that the businesses and the owners of the properties in these islands can stay in the hands of the people. So, you know what, this is important because they're trying to figure out how they're going to feed their families right now. So we have to address their immediate needs, but us on the outside looking in, we're not dealing with these survival day-to-day issues, then we need to be thinking about tomorrow for them. We need to be thinking about next month and next year for them. And we have the resources, we have the brain power, we have the political power to be able to do it, but we just have to take time to do it. So we're going to be calling people to be in spaces like this so we can have that conversation on how we can empower our community so that we can, and if anyone's going to buy the property, it should be us buying the property. If anyone's going to be rebuilding, it should be us doing the rebuilding. So we're looking for contractors, we're looking for architects, we're looking for people who can help rebuild cities, because that's what Carribean needs right now, right? So we need to be stepping up, creating jobs, and having our fingerprints on the new Carribean and the new Caribbean. So that's what we're kicking it to the people, and this is a special day tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last day of Caribbean Music Week. As you see, these are the proclamations. It's international. Big up to Granton, big up to Buffalo. Two of the only cities in the whole world that have proclaimed it thus far. Big up to International Reggae Day, which is July 1st, right? So Caribbean Music Week begins on June 30th, which is the last day of Black Music Month, and we take it all the way to July 6th. So tomorrow we're just going to be having an event. It's an international event. We have people all over the world. Black Music Month, Amsterdam and Netherlands and Europe. They're going to be coming in on our Zoom at 7 p.m. So if you want to find out more information, you can always go to CarribeanFundraiser.com or find us online at Caribbean Music Week. I mean, there's lots of places to donate, right? There's GoFundMe's popping up all over the place. The government has provided us, you know, safe places where we can donate. Our organization, One Love, One Beach, the Caribbean Global Network, we're going to be doing individual fundraising to send us down there, right? Because look, we don't know where things are going, we don't know where money's going, and we know sometimes it doesn't flow the way it's supposed to flow, right? We know that, right? Like, it's just a reality that we got to accept.
So you want to actually deliver it yourself?
We're going to do the work ourselves. So we're saying, look, we'll do the fundraiser for ourselves. We're going to rough it out there for a couple weeks and rebuild. My home needs to be rebuilt. I have a home in Windward, a family home that was built by my grandfather that I've seen aerial shots of it in rubble right now, right? So I have personal business down there. But you know what? We were down there in February. I run an initiative called One Love, One Beach. It's the Bob Marley Day of Service. We do it on his Earth Strong on February 7th. So it started off just as a Grenada 50 initiative. Grenada just turned 50 this year, and it was just a plan to clean up 50 beaches and bays in Grenada, Petite Martinique, and Carribean. And then it expanded into other islands, and we ended up connecting with about 6 other islands around the Caribbean. And all of us hit the beaches on Bob Marley's Earth Strong as his National Day of Service, man. It was special. And the help that I got in Grenada and Carecool was amazing. We had all the dive companies on the shores. They offered us diving equipment. They invited all their divers to come down there. So we dove in the water. We had snorkelers picking up litter, and we had people combing the beaches. And you can find all the information on One Love, One Beach on social media, Facebook and Instagram. It's the number 1, One Love, One Beach. And we cleaned up the beaches. And while I was there the entire time, all I was doing was talking about what's going to happen if a tsunami comes, right? Because the end of February, there was a day that we chose. It's actually called World Water Day. And so we had a conversation, we had a forum. I had a forum, and I had scientists and ecologists and all kind of ologists that were on the call talking about what will happen if a tsunami hits and how do you handle that. And I just felt like the island that I was in particularly was not prepared for disaster. All my family lived along the shore, and I kept saying, well, what would happen if a tsunami hits the shore? Who's going to grab my family? Who's going to get them up to where these evacuation zones are? And it was completely inadequate. And I spent the entire time there telling people that, listen, you have to prepare for danger, you have to prepare for the worst, and it happened. So now, obviously, we get everyone's attention. It's unfortunate that we weren't able to get enough infrastructure put in place to save more lives or make. Because we don't know who's under these rubbles. We haven't have a final count, so we're praying that every life was spared, but we don't know. But ultimately, you know, this is an opportunity for us to grow and prepare. And also, for us to be doing this now in the face of disaster is also a little late. We know what happens in the Caribbean, right? There's not a year that doesn't go by where one of our sister islands are not attacked by, you know, crazy winds, right? Hurricanes and the whole nine. So we have to be proactive, and we have to know, hey, this is something that we should have storehouses, right? And fortunately, the people of this city are so generous that, you know, this is a fourth of what the city was able to produce, what these two groups were able to produce in just a couple of days' notice. So fortunately, the generosity is here, but it's a timing thing, right? We can't just get these bottles of water to Grenada tomorrow, right? We're talking about barrels. Everyone knows how long it takes for a barrel to reach the islands, man, right? So obviously it's here, but it's going to take a while for it to get there. And that's something we have to do better at. So, you know what, let's just assess ourselves. You know, we're applauding everyone's generosity, but we want to learn. We want to be the generation that is prepared in a completely different level, and not prepared in the middle of disaster. Prepared before. That's what Marcus Garvey would want us to do. See?
Cool. All right,
bless us.
Yes, sir. See you. Okay.
So I seen that there's an e-transfer account, right? if anyone wants, they can also e-transfer. Is that still
Well, yeah,
working?
that's for the buttons. If they want some buttons, you know
Yes.
what I mean? That's just what we have set up.
So,
And the buttons are actually going to go, the funding from the buttons are going to allow us to buy the survival kit. So we have the emergency shelter here. We have the blanket. We have the mosquito net. We have the candle, which prevents, mosquitoes as they, maybe, maybe, I don't know. All right, because listen, I burn these in Carribean. Mosquitoes don't care. But nevertheless, it's still light. You know what I mean? Light is love. Light is hope, man. So, and then this one here, this is important. This is the shower bag, right? So they get to put the water, run the water through this, and they can actually hang it over so they can bathe with some dignity, right? I mean, think about how else are they doing it, right? So we put these together as survival kits that go along with the food and everything else, and that's what the fundraiser with the buttons are. United as One.
Brought to you by Careface CBP. Subscribe, like, comment, and let the whole world know about us. Careface CBP.